Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Zay Talks. I'm out here in nature, the best place, gets the mind flowing. Today we're going to be talking about more on the One series, but instead of going more in depth about the pillars this episode, which is physical, mental, and spiritual, I'm going to go more in depth on the red flags and what to look out for, or what not to look out for in partners, or what to look out for so you know who not to pick. Those indicators. Right, and these things are not all they have is guaranteed. Like cut them off because people can change, people can grow, but I'm assuming you're trying to become the best version of yourself. You want someone who's also pretty high up there with themselves, and these one or two of these is fine, but a lot of them is bad news. So not only on my laptop, this is going straight up top of the dome. First few things I think of is definitely, first off, put some red flags, some personal red flags in the comments. The first thing I really think of is emotionally. That's the biggest thing. How are they emotionally? How they react? What's their attachment style? I know a lot of people complain on social media, oh, like she's an avoidant attachment with bipolar disorder, like that type of stuff. Like, what do they have emotionally? Like, how do they respond to conflicts? Because it doesn't matter how many times you guys have conflict, it's how you resolve conflict. And if they are unable to talk to you and communicate in a reasonable amount of time after conflict, and that's an issue, right? Like, personally, I could talk pretty much after things happen, or maybe a couple of moments after, depending on how my partner's feeling or whatever. And that's just who I am personally, right? And I feel like I'm really good at receiving feedback and just being able to hold space for my partner's emotions. But it has to be reciprocated because you cannot be the only one doing emotional work. How do they handle emotional work, right? When it comes to conflict, right? Do they want to just not talk about it for days on end, and it won't give you the peace of mind that, hey, we can talk about it this time. They don't give you no time to talk about it. Like, how do they react to that, right? Because I know that doesn't work for me, right? Or like some people who can't talk about it right away, that's fine, but you have to communicate when you guys can talk about it. It's not like, oh, let's just push it under the rug and hope it goes away. Like, that just makes stuff pile up under the rug, and you can't even walk on the damn rug anymore, and the relationship's over. It's failed. You gotta be able to talk about things, right? Moreover, how do they respond to your constructive criticism? Now look, no one likes being criticized in the wrong way, but if you are respectful and you are polite and you come to them as their partner, they should be able to hold space for your suggestions, but okay, maybe I can improve that. Oh, okay, let me do that for you. And it has to go both ways. You can't just ask and never try to give, you know what I'm saying? Within reason, of course. If you're asking her, like, yeah, can we talk sometime within the next 3 days? Or you're asking her something, can you work on how you do conflict? Like, that's normal. But conflict should not be unresolved for days on end. That's just not healthy. Makes problems pile up. Another thing, how do they wow, I should have really wrote some notes down. Emotionally is like the biggest thing, but how do they hold space for your emotions too? I don't know if I kind of went over that a little bit, but like, if you're upset and you bring up something they did that's wrong, how do they react to that? Do they try to flip it and say, I only did it because you did this? Then you already know right there, that's not a good sign. That's a red flag, So how they respond to things emotionally is a really big red flag, and it's probably the biggest red flag of all. They should be able to talk to you and work through things in a timely manner. Now, if you're not being polite to them and you cannot communicate effectively, it is not their job to pick up the emotional work from you and have to be all polite and respond back even when you're upset. Now, we all have little outbursts, damn, momentarily. That should not be like, you're screaming, You're not screaming at me, I can't talk to you. No. Breathe, come back together as a couple. You guys are a team. It's you versus the problem, not you guys versus each other. And that's one thing a lot of couples I notice don't do well with. It's like, I have to win this argument, but it's like, there's no point winning the argument if you're like beating your partner. You're supposed to beat the problem together, Like, very, very few times is the partner the actual problem, right? Next thing, this is kind of controversial. Now, personally, before I get into this, I was gonna say like body counts. Before I get into that, friendships. Some people see it's a red flag if she has a lot of male friends or a lot of guy best friends. I necessarily don't think that's a problem. I think if it's a problem if a lot of her friends were hookups that she friend zoned. That's kind of an issue because a lot of men in our day and age, not that you can't trust it, but a lot of men in our day and age, you know what I'm saying, a lot of boys in our day and age, especially around college guys. They're horny. They just want a quick nut, right? And a lot of dudes think if I hit once, I can hit again, right? And like, let's say she goes to him about one of your problems, which, I mean, it's whatever. Maybe she like talks about it briefly or mentions something briefly, and he's like, "Oh my God, can't we do that to you?" Da, 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 da. One thing, he's trying to comfort your girl, and then like in her emotional state, he might just be weird and do some shit. You gotta be able to trust her friends, right? Having lots of guy friends, especially ones that you hooked up with, is kind of a red flag. Not kind of, in my eyes, it is a red flag, right? Now, the whole boy best friend stuff, I don't think having a boy best friend is a red flag. It's only a red flag if they don't respect your relationship, and that goes for all friends. Like, she could have a female best friend and doesn't respect our relationship, that's a red flag, right? Like, if you have a female best friend, like, y'all shouldn't be doing weird shit. Like, I don't know, like, she shouldn't be trying to say break up with him, or like going overly in depth about our stuff. Like, if we're going through issues, her best friend shouldn't be like, well, fuck that nigga. Like, she should be like, oh, like, what's going on? Because I'm sure like everyone talks to their best friend about their issues in the relationship. Someone else they could talk to. Now, ideally, it gets resolved in the relationship. But let's say you guys are really stressed out, you guys can't really talk to each other. You should be able to like talk to your best friend about some stuff. I feel like that's normal, right? It only becomes a problem if the best friend is like not looking out for both of you guys, or like not as a, what's it called? Like they're just doing too much, right? Like, and instead of listening, they're just like just giving horrible advice, horrible stuff. Like, who you surround yourself with becomes who you are, like going back to the boy best friend, the girl best friend stuff. Like, if she has a boy best friend, I mean, that's cool, but how does he react when they're in a relationship? Like, I know a lot of people, a lot of girls, boy best friends, whether they're aware of it or not, some of them have crushes on them or whatever. And it's weird because a lot of kids, like guys, grow up without knowing what true platonic love is, and so they confuse it with something else and they develop a crush because they feel like, oh, I feel this way about her, I must like her, right? That's not cool, bro. Cut that shit out. Like, I have a girl best friend, shout out Sam, and it's completely platonic. And when we were both in relationships, we respect each other's relationship. Like, we weren't even like, there's clear boundaries, and even before we were both of us in relationships, there was still clear boundaries. Like, a lot of people who have a girl best friend, guy best friend, laying up, cuddling up, watch movies. I think that's a little, especially people our age, that's a little questionable, bruv. Like, what the hell? But you guys should sit inside each other's rooms and watch a movie, as long as you guys aren't being weird physically about it. Like, I feel like that's also fine. Like, it just depends on their boundaries and what they're comfortable with. Like I said, like, when it comes to boy best friends, I'm a boy best friend. Like, I know don't have no ulterior motive, so I know there's at least a couple of the guys out there who think like me, because I grew up with platonic feminine relationships. I grew up with sisters, or a sister. I grew up around lots of women, and I had lots of female friends growing up, so I was able to recognize what platonic love was like and what romantic love was like, and I could differentiate the two. Just make sure the boy best friend respects the relationship. If he or she at any point says that they have a crush on one another, I'm not gonna lie, bro, just get out of there. Respectfully, like, it ain't a best friend, it ain't a friend if you guys like each other. That's not a friend. That's more just like a backup option, or like a person you can open up emotionally and still do stuff with. That's not really a friend, you know what I'm saying? Especially the best friend in a relationship. Like, if your girlfriend's telling you, oh yeah, he has a little crush on me, but it's okay, like, I make sure I'm not gonna do this with him. I'm like, what do you mean he has a crush on you? Why? Like, at that point, it's like, if bro has a crush on you, yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't want to do anything. It matters his intentions and how he's gonna take stuff, and it's just gonna be weird, and it's just not a good thing. And a lot of people don't like boy best friends for that exact purpose, that, oh, he's gonna be weird, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, like that type of thing. Like, they might have a crush on her and shit. But most average, like I would say myself, most boy best friends are just really close and truly platonic. If it's truly platonic, I don't give a fuck if you have a boy best friend. That's just me though, right? Not everyone's like me, and not everyone has the emotional capability to be with someone like that, and that's fine. Again, the key point is, it's not like, oh, she has a boy best friend and she's over his house all the time, and she sleeps over his house. Like, that's different. Boundaries need to be had out of respect for the relationship, because again, you can't put yourself in situations where something could happen, right? But as long as you're respectful of the relationships, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm not gonna go and sleep over my girl best friend's house if I have a whole girlfriend. That's just, she wouldn't be comfortable with that, within reason, right? So, again, clear boundaries, and it's fine. Moving on to body count. This is kind of tricky because everyone has different opinions about this. Now, I personally don't care that much about body count. Obviously, a girl has like 50 bodies, and we're like 19 years old. That's highly questionable, right? It's a reflection of your decision-making skills, and it's a reflection of how impulsive you are sometimes. But a lot of girls' bodies, maybe not all of them, maybe they were coerced or other things. Like, it's a bunch of different caveats to it. So you can't use body count as a determining factor, but it can give a hint into someone's mindset. That's English, right? That's what I'm thinking about towards that. Again, I personally don't really care. Like, if a woman's really nice, she's a good person, she's attractive, and she just so happens to have like 15 or 10 bodies or 20 bodies or whatever the case is, like, I really don't care. And again, people might say that, like, oh, that's weird, like, you're weird for thinking that way, but it's like, realistically, like, I just don't care. Like, there has to be like a multitude of things. Like, if you're not be able to be aware emotionally, and like, no, think about it, right? If a girl is 25 years old and she has 20 bodies, right? From the age, let's say she started doing stuff at 18 years old. I said 20, right? Like, that's like, what, like, can't do math, but that's a couple less partners per year, right? Like, especially if people aren't in long-term relationships, it's normal to be sexual with people. Like, a body count is not a determining factor, at least to me. Everyone has different opinions. You're free to whatever you want to think, right? But again, like, combined with other factors, if she is not emotionally cognizant, can't hold space for your emotions, she is avoiding attachment, or whatever the case is. Attachment styles are just that. They're insecure attachment styles. They are problems within the self. Like, anxious attachment and avoiding attachment are just as bad. Like, they're two sides of the same coin, right? You have to be secure, right? Be able to talk about things with your partner, and be able to give them the space they need to breathe. You can't be all up on them like an anxious attachment. It is what it is. And all these are like hard things because not a lot of women have, all women have all these qualities, but not a lot of girls our age are women. Like, there's women our age and there's girls our age, right? I'm 20 years old. There's 20-year-old women and 20-year-old girls. There's 25-year-old women and there's 25-year-old girls. And I'm sure we both have experience with at least one of the two, right? Like, you can meet a girl and know she's a girl, and you can meet a woman and know she's a woman from the way they carry themselves, the way they handle themselves, right? And going back to body count, you don't even know if she's telling you the truth. A girl could say, oh, I have 5 bodies, whole time she has 25, and you don't know, or have 30. Like, she could say whatever she wants to say, especially if they weren't at the school or place where you would know them. Like, let's say she moves from lives out of state or something, she could dead ass just lie, and you could never know. So again, that's why body count isn't really like a determining factor for me. When I don't have notes, I jump all over the place, so stay tuned. Just like stick with me, guys. What else? There's more. There's definitely hella more stuff. How they carry themselves. A really big red flag is hygiene, and how they just someone take, like, this is like basic. You'd be surprised how many basic hygiene stuff not a lot of people do. Cutting your nails, getting pedicures, manicures, grooming. Like, I know I don't got a cut, I don't got a haircut, but like, I'm stacking my bread, I'm saving my money, and plus my hair's long enough where you can't really see it most times. And I'm getting a haircut on Tuesday, so it's whatever. But doesn't take daily showers. This is just me, but you personally, I take a shower every single day. That's just, you just gotta do that. Unless, like, if I'm not at a friend's house or like something's going on, I just can't take a shower that day. I make sure as soon as I'm able to, if I'm able to take a shower, if I'm in my room all day and there's a shower a couple of feet from my room, I'm taking a shower every day at least. I take a shower when I come home from the gym. I take a shower after I come home from work. Like, that's just what you need to be doing. Hygiene is very important. And what else? I know it's lots of stuff. Put some stuff in the comments, man. I'll probably be making more videos about it. But yeah, really the biggest thing is just emotionally how they handle conflict and how they respond to your emotional needs. Another red flag, is being like oh, I'm just really friendly, and it's borderline flirting, right? Because it doesn't matter what your intentions are. Most times it matters how people perceive it and the impact of your words. Like if a girl is really, really friendly to a guy, and she's like, I'm just being nice, I'm just being friendly, like, and bro might take it as flirting. I'm not talking about like basic manners, like, oh, thank you, for guy opens the door for her, cool, I'm not there. Oh, thank you, whatever. Like being cordial and being overly friendly is two different things. Now she's like, oh my god, you're so muscular, rubbing on niggas' arms, like most guys would take that as flirting, right? Like she's touching on you, she's doing that stuff, overly friendly like that. That's what I mean. That's a big, big red flag. Now, again, when you are out with your partner or without your partner, your actions are a reflection of both of you guys, right? So it doesn't really matter what your intentions are. Like I could go to a girl's room at 1 a.m. just to help her with some homework, right? Cool. But other people, I'm going to a random ass girl's room at 1 a.m. They don't know the intricate details. And unless you like are open with your girl and say, hey, this other girl needs help, I know it's late or whatever, most times the woman's gonna say no, right? But again, the way people perceive you is a really big part of, like, it reflects on your partner. Like if my girl's going out every day, my girl's going out Thursday to Saturday, right? And she's always getting drunk and she's jumping up and down, this and just not taking care of herself, right? Like all around the party, like falling over, stumbling, like she doesn't know how to drink in moderation or take care of herself or know her limits. That's a reflection on me. People might think, damn, but your girl's just all over the place. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta, now, most times, I don't really care. Like, someone can go out, get drunk, and get hammered or drink more than they can handle. That's not what I'm saying. But if she's, like, damn near an alcoholic, drinking every night, and just, like doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? That is a reflection on me. And, like, I'm not the type of person, I don't drink all the time. I don't even think I drink at all. But, like, when I do drink applesauce, we're talking about apple juice, guys. When I do drink apple juice, right? If I go out to a college party, I drink apple juice. I'm on blood thinners, so I technically can't even drink, right? But before I was on blood thinners, and I would have a few sips of apple juice, right? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I've never been like overly drunk ever a day in my life off apple juice, but you know, like sometimes people drink more than they can handle, and that's a common thing. Now, like I said, if your girl is going out every single day, damn near Thursday through Saturday, Thursday, going out Friday, going out Saturday, again, absolutely hammered, can't walk, this and that, and you're not there, that's weird. But if, let's say I'm with my girl, and she wants to go drink, she's with her friends, drink, have fun, I'm doing whatever you want, I'm here, I can protect you, I can take care of you. But if I'm not there to take care of you, or look out for you, and I don't trust the other people with your safety, and you're at a party with a bunch of like other guys who maybe it's a frat where they're known to, you know, be a little coercive with women, or be a little weird, be a little touchy. Most women are not physically built enough to take on a frat guy or whatever, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like rambling a little bit, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just like, you gotta know your limits and know how to take care of yourself. That's really important. Overly friendly. Again, people smoke, people drink, it's whatever. Just everything, like, don't go be excessive. Like, you know, things in moderation is fine. But if you're showing up to class, you fried all day, 24/7, like not one day off, that's a problem. That's not really healthy. That's not good for you, right? If you're drinking every day, if you're drinking every night, you know what I'm saying? It's not in moderation. You don't drink maybe like once or twice a week. Maybe sometimes on weekends, I'm out with my friends, I might have a little extra drink. That's fine. But if you're drinking all the time, going overly drunk, that's a problem. Like, the way you handle yourself is a reflection of me and you, because since you're my partner, that's exactly what it means. You're my partner. Your actions are a reflection of me, even if you don't think it is, right? And that's just the way it is, man. It's another thing. Now, this is just me, but like, if you don't work out, go to the gym, or trying to better yourself in any way, I find that a red flag. Let's think about it. The one, right? Moving yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. What are you doing for yourself physically? If you don't do any sort of like sports, activity, anything, you don't even go on daily walks, like what are you doing? You're just laying in bed all day? Like, I need an active partner, because I'm just as active. I worked out 6 days a week. I go on daily walks. I record this content. I do stuff to better myself, right? If you're not on that same type of frequency wavelength as me, then you're not the one for me. That's just how it is. You got to be able to work out. You got to be able to take care of yourself. that's not doing that's kind of a red flag. Especially like maybe like if you're trying to get into it, that's different. Like if you're actively trying to improve, that's fine. But if you're just laying in bed all day on your phone, don't even go outside, go on a walk, like nothing, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I am Christian, and my partner doesn't have to be Christian. Like everyone's entitled to their own beliefs, and I respect everybody. Like as Christians, we're taught to love thy neighbor, even if someone has differing opinions than you. Like doesn't mean you have to hate them. And you know, out of all the partners I've had, I don't think any of them have been like Christian actually. So there's that. Like, I don't really care. Like if you're really amazing and you're just don't happen to be Christian, like that's fine. Like I'm not gonna like murder you or something. I'm not gonna like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just me though. Maybe my opinion might change in a couple years. We don't know, right? No one knows the future. Only God does. But yeah, like it's whatever. Then again, like you have to have some sort of morals. Like, if you're not religious, have some sort of morals. You know what I'm saying? Not having any good set standard of morals. Ooh, another underrated red flag is friends, right? I say this because someone could have friends, guy friends, girlfriends. Like if I'm a guy and all my boys cheat, but I'm just the one boy that doesn't cheat, like, okay, I know I don't cheat, but how does it look to other people? How does it look to my girl? It's like all your boys cheat on their girlfriends all the time. You want me to believe you don't? It's highly unlikely, right? And even though cheating isn't good, cheating is whatever, right? That's not something you should do ever. So then it goes into, okay, well, if think about this, you could say like, oh, you're not a cheater, I'm not a cheater, but if your boys are trying to encourage you to cheat on your girl, that's also not good. Especially if she's a good woman, that's also not good, right? Like you are who you surround yourself around. If all your boys do is smoke and drink and gamble and don't nothing with their lives, they're not gonna be actively improving you. Like all my boys, Lance and Lamar's, like they're doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're out there improving their lives. Like they're trying to do drop shipping, content, a bunch of other stuff. You know, Ryan and Sean, they're good people. They do what they want. They do like go to the gym. They bring up. They all my friends bring me up. Like even if I didn't mention your name, like you know, Chris, Aubrey, Ryan, Sean, Lance, Lamar, Big Mike, the Zays that I know. I'm like everybody that I'm cool with, or even my close friend group. Like we're all uplifting each other, right? What else? Yeah, but you are who you surround yourself with. So if your girl has homegirls, all they do is go out and party and drink, and they're not in the gym. They don't do anything for productive for themselves, and they low key like don't take care of themselves. Like they sleep around with a lot of guys. Like that's just not a good influence on your girl. And yeah, maybe your girl isn't like that, but at the end of the day, it's like if her friends are like that, it's like, you know, you can only believe what you see. Like that's all I'm gonna say when it comes to that. Like just make sure like the person for you is actively trying to improve their life, you know. And you know, sometimes it's really hard to cut off friends. And sometimes girls are friends with people they've been with for years, but they don't even like them. Like they're not great people, but they've been friends with them so long, they stay friends with them because of how the length of their connection. It's hard to cut people off. I get it. I understand that. What else? It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, let's start getting like nitpicking stuff. Like if you don't like being outdoors or like, you know, exploring nature or just like the world is beautiful. There's so much beauty in this world, so much. And if you don't want to see that, explore that in any capacity, I love going out in nature personally. I love like look at where I record my videos. You know what I'm saying? I love being out in nature, man. It's great. So if you're not into that, that's kind of like, damn, like I'm still gonna do me, but it's kind of like it's not like something that I really like look forward to if you don't want to go out to nature. You know what I'm saying? You don't like going on hikes or walks or whatever. What else? There's a lot of stuff. I can go on and on and on. I can go on and on and on. Starting to get little like nitpicking stuff, small stuff. I know I've never personally experienced this, but people are like, oh, like whenever my girl like posts on her story or takes out her post, whenever we get into any small disagreement, that's weird as hell. I don't know why you guys are with people like that. It just shows emotional immaturity. Like there's a lot of stuff in this world that shows emotional immaturity, and that is one of them. And again, like having one of these factors, everyone is flawed at some point in their life. All you can do is go up. If you're actively trying to improve yourself, that's different. But again, you are not obligated to be with anyone or stay with anyone just because they promise they can be better. Right? You're not obligated to be with that person. Right? No, you don't belong to anyone. You belong to yourself, and you have to do at the end of the day what's good for yourself.